अभी सर अपन जो है सर टिश्यू कल्चर में जो बेसिकली टिश्यू कल्चर अपन क्यों करते हैं सर?
राइट
जी, तो उसमें सर मेन प्रॉब्लम ये आता है कि जैसे अपन रेटून क्रॉप लेते हैं तो उसमें जो डिसीज रहते हैं सर वो तो इनिशियल कंडीशन पे दिखते नहीं है। जब
Right.
उसका प्रोडक्शन आता है, रिकवरी होती है शुगर की, तब हमको समझ में आता है सर कि हमारा जो क्रॉप था वो कितना प्रोडक्टिव था। तो
Right.
जी सर तो उसमें सर रेटून क्रॉप में जैसे कई सारे जो आपका स्पंजी हो जाते हैं, जो आपके शुगर कैन है स्पंजी हो जाते हैं सर।
Okay.
तो आपका प्लांट तो हेल्दी लगेगा सर, लेकिन वो से क्या जूस नहीं निकलता सर, उसमें जो है स्पंज जैसा हो जाता है, फोमिंग का प्रॉब्लम आता है सर।
Right. Right.
इसके अलावा हाँ सर, इसमें ग्रासी सूट का भी प्रॉब्लम आता है सर। फील्ड में कई बार क्या होते हैं, अदर स्टेट से जो लाते हैं तो वो ऐसा ग्रास ग्रास जैसा हो जाता है सर। उसका फिजिकल जो ग्रोथ आना चाहिए जितना जो है नहीं आप
to new session. We are having online session of Dr.
लिंक फोटो कॉपी होती है
मिक्स हो रहा है सब ब्लैक। हेलो
सर। जी सर।
तो उसमें दो तीन अभी लोग बात हो रहे हैं, मिक्स हो रहा है, कोई पता नहीं आ रहा है कौन बोल रहा है करके, और दूसरा कोई बोल रहा है उसमें शायद। हेलो हेलो
मैडम का आवाज आ रहा है सर, कोई मैडम बोल रही सर।
हाँ मैडम, मैडम जोहार है मैडम। हेलो
जी सर।
नहीं वो गवारे मैडम या कोई और दूसरा बोल रहा है जस्ट एग्रीकल्चर से।
सर
हरीश हेलो
कौन है? काय
Dr. Nilesh Kumar sir is Chief Scientist, Associate Director of Research Zonal Agriculture Research Station, Sholapur.
हेलो हेलो हेलो
बैक कमेटी सिस्टम में।
हेलो
हेलो सर,
हाँ
am I audible to you?
या ऑडिबल। हेलो
Hello.
yes you are audible, please speak.
Okay, so you can continue with your talk. The audience is waiting for you.
Okay
You have been live.
okay thank you. I have to go for 15 minutes na. हेलो हेलो हेलो
Hello.
हेलो
सर यू कैन कंटिन्यू।
whether screen is visible? Hello Paresh, whether screen is visible?
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible.
Okay, good afternoon to all of you. Today I'm just talking on the topic modern trends of plant nutrition in Indian agriculture. Myself Dr. Nitin Kumar Ranshore. I'm working as, hello, someone has raised the hand. Yes, Dr. Daune. Daune साहेब काय? Hello.
Sir, there's no issue. You can go with your talk.
Okay, okay. So this is the subject regarding the modern trends of plant nutrition in Indian agriculture. So before going for this, we should understand the antiquity. In the Odyssey, Homer named manure as a material that improves plant growth. So we are talking about the nutrition. Next to manure, different kind of organic materials like compost, straw, animal residues, river and pond silts, green manure, ash, bones, lime and gypsum have been recommended to use for the soil fertilization in order to improve the yield. Now, in the Middle Ages, attention was drawn to relationship between plant yield and development of the different soils. And the 19th century was supposed to be a breakthrough in explaining the nature of the plant nutrition with the theory of mineral plant by Justus von Liebig. We know that this theory of minimum nutrition was given by Dr. Justus von Liebig. This is the theory of mineral nutrition. Now, in case of the 20th century, we just talk about the mineral nutrition or nutrition of the plants. Evacuation of the catalytic process of producing ammonia from atmospheric nitrogen at an industrial scale become the basic fertilizer intermediate product in the growing fertilizer industry. The marvelous effectiveness of the chemicalization of the agriculture production was utilized in the form of green revolution in the decade of the 1960s. So scientist Norman Borlaug said that if high-yielding varieties are the catalyst that have ignited the green revolution, the chemical fertilizer is the fuel that has powered its forward thrust. Further studies show that excessive or unbalanced fertilization contributes to a deterioration of the biological value and quality of the yields. We know very well, because as far as the growth of the plant is concerned, we should use the optimum dose, or we should use the what we can say the equal right amount of the fertilizers. But most of the thing, what happened, the farmers use unbalanced fertilization, they use more amount of the fertilizers, and that leads to deterioration of the biological value. And ultimately, there is a reduction in the yield of the crop. The modern era, in case of the modern era, we can have the age blanket fertilizer recommendations over large areas that do not hold any relevance under current perspective. Now, according to International Fertilizer Association, what is their recommendation? What the International Fertilizer Association says? It says that without fertilizers, human life is unsustainable. Means if you want more and more yield, if you want to increase the production of the commodities, then we have to use the fertilizers. If you don't use fertilizer, definitely plant is going to suffer. And due to this suffering, yield will be reduced and human life will not be sustainable. That is why it is justified to introduce a multi-pronged approach, keeping the soil health issues in mind in the realm of the plant nutrition in India. So while application of the fertilizers, what basic thing is, we have to say that the health of the soil should not be disturbed. The health of the soil should not be deteriorated. So in that context, we have to understand that we have to use the balanced fertilizers. We should not use either less amount of the fertilizer. We should not either use more amount of the fertilizer. This is the major aspect of the fertilizer applications. So particularly, we know all these things that the nutrient required for the plant growth generally available to plant in sufficient quantities through air and water. So we can categorize these ones. For example, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen that comes from the through air and through the water. Now, deficiencies in these are more common but available through fertilizers. For example, we can say the primary macronutrient, that is nitrogen, phosphorus, and the potassium. Then next part comes available through soil, but usually not through fertilizers. So we can have the secondary macronutrients, calcium, magnesium, sulfur. These are, we can call it as the secondary macronutrients, while the micronutrients are nickel, iron, manganese, zinc, copper, boron, molybdenum, and the chloride. These are the, we can say, this much amount of the nutrients are required by the plant for its good growth. So all of you are aware about that. Particularly the students that are not from the soil science, but they should understand this is the basic requirement of the plants. According to the essential criteria as given by the scientist called as Arnon, all these nutrients are required for the plant growth. If these nutrients are not supplied in proper manner, then definitely the life cycle of the plant is going to be hampered, because these nutrients take part in direct metabolism. And a very important thing is that we cannot replace one nutrient by another. That is the basic concept of the concept given by the scientist called as Arnon. Now, first is the nanomaterials. So modern trends, what we are using is the nanomaterials. We are not talking about the conventional things. Conventional things, we know what we are doing in the field itself. So nanomaterial is one of the novel concept nowadays. Nanofertilizer are synthesized or modified form of traditional fertilizers. These are extracted from vegetative or reproductive parts of the plant by different chemical, physical, mechanical, or biological method with the help of the nanotechnology. For improving soil fertility, productivity, nutrient use efficiency, and quality of the agriculture produces. So when the size is below 100 nanometer, particles are used as a fertilizer for efficient nutrient management, which are more eco-friendly and reduce environmental footprint of the agriculture. Nanofertilizer has the potential to enhance nutrient use efficiency because the size of the particle is so less or so low so that it can be efficiently used, and we can save the quantity of the fertilizers because due to higher nutrient uptake caused by smaller surface area of nanomaterials, which increase nutrient surface interactions. They are very effective for a precise nutrient management. When we talk about the precise nutrient management, we can use the nanofertilizers with matching the crop growth stage of nutrients and prevent plant from different biotic and abiotic stress. You should know what is the difference between biotic stress and abiotic stress. Biotic stress is related to the, we can say the organisms or vegetative life. Abiotic stress means that is not in concern with our hand. For example, rainfall. Some part we get the higher rainfall, some part we get the less rainfall. So whatever the stress are occurring due to this rainfall, we can categorize under the abiotic stress management. So in that cases, the nutrient management by the nanofertilizers or nanomaterials will be useful. Then next part is the liquid fertilizers. They hold very strong promise in protected cultivations. They hold very strong for hydroponics, aeroponics, or even open field for perennial fruit crops. Provide an enormous possibility of tailoring nutrient use across critical growth stages. A prerequisite for better nutrient use efficiency. So if you are going to use the liquid fertilizers, they will definitely helpful in the critical growth stages of the plants. And definitely we can have the more nutrient use efficiency. In India, the traditional liquid fertilizer is called as a panchagavya, a new manure made by fermenting cow dung in the water. Other Indian liquid manure such as Jivamrut or Bijamrut are used as a plant growth hormones. We'll see regarding that. This is the second aspect. First aspect is the nanofertilizers we can use. We are not going to in detail regarding this. We are just going to discuss regarding the what are the ways and means by which we can apply the fertilizers. Apart from the traditional. So nano fertilizer is one part, liquid fertilizer is another part. Third, we can say a fertigation or foliar application can also be addressed here the following advantages. So we can have the ease of handling and applications, ease of blending, uniformity of applications, starter and in-season application, and blend with proper crop protection products. So this is the basics of this can be that is application of the fertilizers through irrigation or we can say foliar application. So first very important part is the handling. It is very easy to handle, but it is very useful for the application also. We can be mixed with any other material that is compatible material. So we can have the uniformity of application also, because most of the time when we apply the urea, superphosphate or potassium in the soil, it is not uniformly applied, but in case of the liquid fertilizer or fertigation, we can apply it in a good manner. Starter and in-season application, we can apply at any time and blend with crop protection product. This is very important aspect. We can mix the crop protection products with the, we can say the fertigation, so that we can save the time and money also. So these are the some of the, we can say liquid organic manures, Panchagavya, Jivamrut, Sasyagavya, Sanjivak, Bijamrut, Amrit Pani, Kunja Pajala, or we can say the vermi wash and the seaweed extract. These are nowadays most of the farmers are using in case of the application of the fertilizers. So how to prepare the Panchagavya? We can use this material, cow dung 7 kg, cow ghee 1 kg, cow urine 10 liter, water 10 liters, cow milk 3 liters, cow curd 2 liters, jaggery 3 kg, and banana 12 numbers. So what we have to do in this case is the mix cow dung and cow ghee, keep it for 3 days. After 3 days, add cow urine and water to this. Keep it for 15 days with regular mixing both in evening and morning. After 15 days, mix the cow milk, cow curd, jaggery, and banana. Close the mouth of the drum. Stir twice a day. Panchagavya will be ready after 30 days. So this is regarding the Panchagavya, one of the, what we can say, the plant nutrition aspect in the modern days. Then application of the Panchagavya, we can have the spray system. 3% solution was found most effective compared to the higher and lower concentration investigated. Flow system, it can be applied, the solution of the Panchagavya can be mixed with the irrigation water at 15 liters per hectare, either through drip irrigation or flow irrigation. Then we can also go for the seed or seedling treatment. 3% solution of the Panchagavya can be used to soak the seeds or dip the seedling before planting. Soaking for 20 minutes is sufficient time for getting the good results. Seed storage, 3% of the Panchagavya solution can be used to dip the seeds before drying and storing them. Then next part is we can say Jivamrut. For this, the content required is the cow dung 10 kg, cow urine 10 liter, jaggery 2 kg, pulse grain flour 2 kg, live frost soil 1 kg, and water 200 liters. So we have to mix the content properly. Keep it for fermentation for 6 to 8 days. Stir the solution regularly, twice a day. Apply when ground is wait for planting, at least once every month. 500 liter water is required. Sorry, this culture is required for 1 hectare. It can also be applied along with the irrigation water. So this is regarding the what we can say the Jivamrut. Then Bijamrut. Another aspect that is the Jivamrut. Bijamrut. So for this we require the cow dung 5 kg, lime 100 gram, cow urine 5 liter, sajiv soil 50 gram, and water 20 liter. So we'll take 5 kg cow dung in cotton cloth and dip in water. Take 1 liter water and add 50 gram lime in it. Let it be stable for a night. Separate the solid portion of cow dung by squeezing it. Add 5 liter cow urine, 1 liter lime water, 50 gram live soil, and 20 liter water. Mix this mixture for 12 to 16 hours. Filter it and use it for seed treatment. For transplanting, put the roots in the Bijamrut. Hello, just a moment. बोल. नाही, मी आता लेक्चर मध्ये 5 मिनिटांनी फोन करतो. Hello. Hello. Hello, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. I think there is some issue with the what we can say the net. So we can have the, if you see the pH of this is 6.82, Bijamrut 8.20, Jivamrut is 7.07, and you see the microbial population in case of the bacteria, fungi, active acids, and fixer, and phosphate solubilizations. So this content explain you that these are very good for the growth of the plant. If you see the total phosphorus, in case of the Panchagavya is 175, while Bijamrut is 155, and the Jivamrut is 166. So content wise, on the micronutrient wise, all the material that we prepare is useful for the growth of the plant. So we can either prepare Panchagavya, Bijamrut, or Jivamrut for the what we can say application of the nutrients into the soil. So next aspect is that of the biofertilizers. That is it is substitution of the synthetic fertilizers. Biofertilizer are now included fertilizer control order in 1985, which specifies the revised standard for 10 preparation namely. So you can use this type of the biofertilizer also, rhizobium, then azospirillum, then K-mobilizing bacteria, mycorrhizal biofertilizer, acetobacter, then carrier-based consortia, zinc-solubilized bacteria, and phosphorus-solubilized bacteria. These are the, we can say, different types of the biofertilizer that can be used as a source of the fertilizers as well as for the mobilizing the nutrients into the soil. So next part is the application of organic matter is required in very high quantities to meet the nutrient demand for crops. Chemical fertilizers are becoming increasingly expensive. Biofertilizers are thus attractive as they are applied in the small quantities that are cheap and reduce dose of chemical fertilizers, give synergistic benefit on nutrient productivity, nutrient efficiency, crop quality, soil health, and disease suppression. The additional advantage of biofertilizer includes longer shelf life, causing no adverse effect to the ecosystem. That's why maintaining the health of the soil as well as the maintaining health of the environment. So we can use the biofertilizer in a very safe manner. So classification of the biofertilizers, we can have the bacterial biofertilizers, we can have the algal, and then we can have the fungal. In case of the bacterial, we can have the nitrogen fixer. In case of the nitrogen fixer, we have symbiotic, associative, and non-symbiotic. In case of the symbiotic, rhizobium, associative, azospirillum, non-symbiotic, azotobacter. While in case of the non-phosphate solubilized, we can have non-symbiotic, that is the bacillus, pseudomonas.
Sir, your presentation is not visible, sir.
Okay, just a moment. I will just, shall I share it again? Hello? Just a moment, just a moment. I will unshare it. Hello? I will share screen again, okay? Is it visible now? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay. So we can have this classification of biofertilizer. We can classify in bacterial type, you can classify in algal type, we can classify in the fungal type. So in case of the bacterial, we can have the nitrogen fixer. In case of the nitrogen fixer also, we can have symbiotic, associative, and non-symbiotic. So we can have example of the symbiotic, the rhizobium, associated with the azospirillum, and non-symbiotic is azotobacter. We know regarding this. Just for information, I'm giving this. In case of the phosphate solubilizer, we have non-symbiotic, that is Bacillus species, Pseudomonas species. In case of the alkali, we can have the nitrogen fixation, example BG and nostocanib. And in case of the fungal, we can have phosphate solubilizer, that is symbiotic mycorrhiza and non-symbiotic aspergillus. So this can be also one of the aspect of that we can use for the nutrient application. So another aspect of the fertilizers we have seen, and up till now we have seen the chemical fertilizer, we have seen regarding the nano fertilizer, we can already seen regarding the other fertilizers, biofertilizer, but this is a very important concept that is called as the soil test crop response understanding the variability. This is the target, we can say the target based system. In this we can fix the target and we can apply the nutrients as per the target. Okay. So this is called a soil test crop response. Means we have to take the soil sample, we have to analyze the how much amount of the nitrogen, phosphorus, or potassium is present in the soil, and accordingly we have to fix the target of any crop, how much yield you want, and accordingly will generate the quantity required for the NPK. So soil test crop response studies use the targeted yield approach to develop a relationship between crop yields on one hand and the soil test estimates and fertilizer inputs on the other hand. Targeted concept that strikes a balance between fertilizing the crop and the soil. So STCR develop algorithm of leaf color chart, SPAD, and other things, so that we can apply at 3 critical stages with yield in different crops. It also develop fertilizer prescriptive equation, untouched secondary nutrients. So soil testing protocol for organic farming system include characterization and quantification of microbiological exploited organic phosphorus pools in the organic farming system, which has been also developed. So this is the basic concept of the, we can say, soil test crop response and targeted. So how we are going to work out the nutrient requirement of any crop in kg. So total nutrient uptake of the nutrient kg per hectare divided by yield of grain, then percent contribution from the soil. So in that case, we can have the total uptake of nutrient in control plots divided by soil test values, available soil test values of control plots, multiplied by 100. And third part is the percent contribution from the fertilizer, how much amount of the fertilizer that we need to add. So total uptake nutrients in targeted treated plot minus available soil test values of treated plots into CS and divided by fertilizer dose applied into 100. So these are the three concepts for the soil test crop response. One is called as NR, nutrient requirement. Second is called as the percent contribution from the soil. And third one is called as the percent contribution from the field. Depending upon this, a lot of equations has been developed, and that equations can be used for increasing the yield of many of the crops. So next part is the crop diversification resilience in agriculture. So crop diversification through legumes has a own strategic position in the intensive as well as substance agriculture, as they are excellent source of nutritional feed for livestock and many nitrogen factor having profound ambulatory effect on the soil. Availability of short duration varieties coupled with matching agro technologies has resulted in identification of several remunerative and more productive cropping systems, which have either already shown their promise or have tremendous potential for expansion in new niches and diversification in the existing cropping system. And third part is the crop substitution and crop shift are also taking place in the areas having some specific soil related problems. So what happens nowadays, what we are doing, we are just taking one crop only, and that deteriorating the health of the soil, that is deteriorating the what we can say the nutrient availability of the plant. So in that aspect, as far as the resilience agriculture is concerned, we have to go for the crop diversification. We have to use different types of the crop depending upon the depth of the soil and the root depth of the crop also. We have to take different crops having different rooting depth. So if you use the we can say a diversified crop system, then definitely it's going to help in the resilience in agriculture. Then next approach is the diagnosis and recommendation integrated system. This is one of the we can say aspect of the approach of the plant nutrition. Up till now we have seen how we can go for the application of the nutrients, but it is also one of the system called as the DRIS, diagnosis and recommendation integrated system. It considers nutrient concentration ratios rather than individual elements. So understand one thing, up till now what we are seeing, we are talking about the simple nutrient or single nutrient, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. But in this case, we have to consider the nutrient concentration ratios. The approach measures the relative balance between nutrients. Large number of sites selected as a random. Each element in the plot is expressed as many ways as possible. For example, nutrient ratio of NPK, NP or NK or products of N into P, N into K, etc. So NPK requirement of the crop is diagnosed using the DRIS chart. So just I will show you that chart. So this is a chart, we can say zone of, this is the, we can say zone of the N axis. This is the zone of P axis. This is zone of N deficiency. This is zone of the P deficiency. And we will see that the arrow, it indicates the system, how much amount of the, we can say, nutrient should be applied based on the collection of the soil sample, analysis of the soil sample. So zone of excess N, zone of K deficiency, zone of P deficiency, deficiency of nitrogen deficiency, then excess of potassium and excess of the, we can say, opposite side. We can say on this side, we can say zone of K excess means more amount of the potassium. In this case, low amount of the potassium. So one part we are saying more amount of the nitrogen, another part we are saying lowest amount of the nitrogen. So excess and the deficiency, we have to take the ratio. So we can have the ratio of the K by P, or we can have the ratio of the N by P. We can have a ratio of the N by K, and we accordingly by calculations we can determine the crop requirement, plant nutrition requirement of the crop. So another concept of the, we can say, approach for the plant nutrition is the site-specific nutrient management. So feeding of the crop with nutrient as and when is needed. This is called the site-specific nutrient management. So site-specific nutrient management, that is SSNM, is the dynamic. Dynamics, it can be changed according to situation. That is called the dynamic. Field-specific management of the nutrient in particular cropping season to optimize the supply and demand of the nutrient according to the difference in cycling through plant soil system. This is given by the Doberman and the White in 1999. So it clearly indicates what you mean by the site-specific nutrient management. It should be dynamic in nature. It should be field-specific management of the nutrient in particular cropping seasons and optimize the supply and demand of the nutrient according to the differences through the soils. So we'll understand this is what we call as SSNM. Now, what is SSNM? So SSNM is a component of site-specific crop management for precision farming. we have to go for the management of the crop system. We have to go the management of the every system that is required for the growth of the plant. And in addition to that, we can go for the precision farming also. This is the component of the SSNM. So precision agriculture, what is the precision agriculture? Very simple concept is right product, right time, right place, and at the right rate. So if you want to apply the what we can say in the nutrition or fertilizer to the crop, we have to use the right material and it should be applied at the right time. If you miss the time for application of the fertilizer, definitely it is going to hamper the growth of the plant. Once the critical stage of the growth has been exceeded, or it has been changed, or it has been moved, and after that if you apply the fertilizers, or if you apply the fertilizer in early time, then it is not be useful. In the right place.
Hello,
Hello.
Nitin sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Sorry to interrupt, but we are running short for time, so kindly wind up.
Yeah. Within 2 minutes, I will just finish. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So this is the, we can say, right product, right time, right place, and the right rate. And we have to go for the right rate also. We cannot use more amount of the nutrient that is required for the growth of the plant. So there are 5 principles of the SSNM. First is the balanced fertilization based on cropping requirement, plasma estimation of nutrient root supplies, need-based nitrogen management, sustainable phosphorus and potassium management, and increasing profitability. So we can have another aspect, that is organic nutrition or sustaining soil health. So we will just see that organic material that is required for the plant growth, we can apply it from various ways. Another is the INM, that is an efficient management. So we know INM, integrated nutrient management. We can use the chemical fertilizers, we can use the organic fertilizer, we can use the biofertilizers, we can use the crop residue, we can use the green manuring combined, and we can apply the fertilizer doses. That is called as integrated nutrient management. So instead of applying the nutrients through one source, we can apply the nutrients by using different sources. That is called as the INM. So we'll just skip. Another is the, we can say, the plant biofortification. So we can have the foliar application, relocalization, and soil application. So just 2 important concepts I would like to highlight. Plant biofortification is defined as a procedure whose purpose is to increase the content of the some elements, nutrient compounds, and vitamins in the plant in order to improve its biological equality, and as well as the result to improve the health of the food consumer. And the second part is the biofortification of different crop varieties, offering a sustainable and long-term solution in providing micronutrients rich crops to plow. Agronomic biofortification is achieved through micronutrient fertilizer application to the soil and or foliar application direct to leaves of the crop. So this we can go for the iodine, zinc, molybdenum, and the selenium. So conclusion, the great progress in the plant nutrition which has been observed in this recent year is the result of achievement of, among other things, sciences such as agriculture, chemical, technology, physics, physiology are used the modern analytical techniques that can use as a research equipment. W. L. Lewis said the secret of rapid agriculture progress is to find how much more is fertilizer in seeds, in pesticide, in water supply than in altering the soil of the farm, in introducing machinery, or in getting rid of middlemen in the marketing. So this is regarding the just so the agriculture professionals are also holding the key and the way forward to salvage this modern planet, and should agree with the opinion of the Arnold Fling, an outstanding German agriculture chemist, that scientific theories and hypotheses can be used in agriculture as long as they find confirmation when confronted with the nature. So this is regarding my today's talk. Thank you so much. Time is limited, so that I cannot explain so much thing I want to explain, but due to paucity of the time, just I have to wind up the lecture. Thank you. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
I finished my topic.
Okay.
Shall I answer?
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your valuable time. Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes. Sure. You are audible. Please speak.
Yes, sir. We are thankful to you for giving your valuable time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Hello,
you, sir. Thank you.
Shall I leave now?
Yes, sir. You can leave. No issue.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Chetan sir, hello.
Yes.
Sir, we can have now YG Prasad sir, no, for his session.
Also Twitter, it is Instagram, even Snapchat also. And second example is the spreading of messages between the two cities. Of course, that also get infected. In our theoretical model, we denote active site or infected person as a state 1 and inactive site or healthy person as a state 2. After that, dynamical rule on that. Rule is very simple. If the sum of the left hand side neighbor and right hand side neighbor each non-zero, they make it as an active, make it as an for 1 year. What will happen for 10? The second example is the epidemic theory. Yes. Phase transfer. It's like transformation of system from one phase to another by having some control parameters. That control parameter is from ferromagnetic to paramagnetic phase. the same thing. In the same thing, same. So that's why there is a plus 1 over P. Now after that, we simulate above equation at critical point τ is equal to 0 because our earlier result only at the critical point, and then we simulate using 4 of the Raman method. What we observe this. That is the results are similar to the earlier result. Hence, we explain orthogonal network by using mean field equation very well. These are the references, and thank you so much for the present.
Thank you so much, sir. I think so that it can be applicable in terms of agriculture too, in monitoring insect pest disease operation. Students,
Hello. Hello.
No. No. Hello. Am I audible, sir?
Yes. Hello? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Hello? Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, sir. You can start your session.
I can start? Okay, thank you. I'm going to just share the screen, okay? Looks like I can't share the screen because it says post has disabled my participant screen sharing. Hello?
So now you just try.
Yeah. Yes, now it's okay. Yeah, thank you. Can you see my screen?
Yes, it's fine.
Can you see my screen though? Thank you. Okay.
Yes, screen visible.
Yeah, I think there is some break. I think there is some breakage in the thing in the. I think your call kind of gets breakup voice. So can I start now?
Yes, sir. You can start.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Utkarsha and the Just Agriculture Organizing team and also the co-organized for inviting me to present talk today. And I'm really honored to be here. And I've been here with Just Agriculture a couple of times before, and this is my third time if I'm right. And I'm again honored, and I thank Dr. Utkarsha and the team for sending me an invite to participate in this conference. So the talk of today's presentation is going to be role of biotechnology and nanotechnology in combating climate change and ensuring food national security. So I am Dr. Balaji Vasudevan. I am working as a chief scientist with UM6P Ventures based in Morocco, Africa. I work remotely from USA. So first of all, we would like to know what is climate and what is climate change. So first, climate. How do you define climate? Climate is nothing but the aggregation of the data with reference to the meteorology in a given area, from a long time perspective, then you get the average data, and that defines what is called as a climate. And then what is the change in the climate? Like change in the climate is often described as a change in the average data for a given area or a given country, or globally even, which is caused due to the natural disorders or anthropogenic, which is environmental and the pollution cost change. It could result in depletion of the ozone and increase in the GHG emission, the greenhouse gas, and due to man-made or natural process or a combination of the both. And recently now the man-made changes are are increasing because of all the pollution and the environmental pollution and the industrialization. And this climate change has a huge effect on the agriculture and global food production and causing global food insecurity and increasing hunger and poverty, which will be described in the next few slides. And now if you can see, this slide describes what is the impact of this climate change directly on the agriculture and food production. Because climate has a key role in enhancing, kind of influencing the plant or the crop growth in the field, and that ultimately has an effect on the yield, crop yield, and food production. So increasing temperatures and increasing the drought, increasing the flood or sudden flash floods, and increase in the soil content, salt content in the soil, and soil degradation, and land deforestation, and all these things contribute to the lower yield and lower food production as a result of the climate change, as shown in the slide. And I would like to play this video from NASA, which clearly shows, it's a 2-minute video clip that clearly shows what is the effect of the climate change and how it is progressing from past to now, and it has a huge impact on the food production in the years to come.
We're already feeling the effects of climate change. Intense heat waves, longer fire seasons, droughts and floods, the impacts of a warmer planet are all around us. And as global temperatures continue to rise, we'll experience even more changes to our planet. New NASA research suggests that with high greenhouse gas emissions, we'll see declines in global crop yields for maize, corn, as early as 2030. Shifting rainfall patterns, higher temperatures, and increased atmospheric carbon levels are likely to affect where and how much of staple crops like corn, soybeans, wheat, and rice can be grown. Using multiple highly accurate supercomputer models, researchers projected future global conditions based on greenhouse gas emissions. They ran these results through models that simulate how crops respond to changes in things like rainfall, temperatures, and atmospheric carbon dioxide. By using multiple computer models, the teams could compare results and be more confident in what they learned. Overall, corn and wheat showed the clearest results. By 2069 through 2099, global corn crop yields could decrease.
Sorry to interrupt.
Corn grown around the world, large quantities grown in countries close to the equator.
The video is not visible.
Put stress on those plants, leading to lower crop yields. Wheat, on the other hand, grows mostly in more temperate regions, like the northern US and Canada, North China Plains, Central Asia, Southern Australia, Europe, and Russia. Warmer global temperatures and higher atmospheric carbon dioxide could increase wheat crop yields up to 17%. However, these increases will likely level off by 2050 or so. Changes to our global agriculture are likely to happen relatively soon, even in scenarios where we significantly lower greenhouse gas emissions. The more we understand about how our global food systems will change in a warmer climate, the better prepared we can be.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, so that video, a short clip from NASA, clearly showed what is the effect of the global climate change on agriculture, global food production, and global food security. So this slide shows what is the effect of the global food security for the past few decades. So according to the World Bank data, the amount of the number of people affected by global food insecurity is rising as every year. As you can see, the data shows that in 2019, from a total of pool of 53 countries, the people directly affected by food insecurity was approximately 135 million, and it's now about in 2022, in the span of 3 years, from 135 it became already 345 million in 82 countries, and this number is increasing every single day because of the climate change and the natural disasters. And as you can see, the number of people going hungry is increasing as every year pass by, and 2050 is projected to touch even a higher number. And as a result of the climate change and the food insecurity, the agricultural share of GDP for every global countries is, particularly in developing countries in South Asia and East Asia and Pacific, is decreasing. Starting from 1965, where it was 45%, it's going down. This is only up to 2004, and if you take the current data, it's even less. So there is a drastic effect of the climate change on agriculture and the food insecurity and food production. And this particular slide shows what is the effect, cascading effects of the climate change on the food security and nutrition. As you can see, the climate change, because of so many factors, it could be temperature or sea level or drought or increasing salt content in the soil or soil degradation. So many factors directly contributes to all the species. It could be human, it could be cultivated plants or the aquatic production, livestock, which plays an important role in animal agriculture and forest. And also it has a huge impact on the post-harvest effect, like, what is the amount of the price of the for food commodities and the quantity and the quality, which directly or indirectly all this leads to food insecurity and nutrition. And you can see the negative impacts on the climate change already is considered as one of the key threat for the coming happening now and also in the future. And because of the climate change, the staple crops which the world relies on, like rice, corn, soybean, wheat, these are the staple crops, and that production is decreasing in all the countries. And according to one data which shows that globally climate change is expected to reduce cereal production, because cereal is a major food crop for all the global population, it's supposed to decrease by 1 to 7% by 2060. And there was one paper that published in Nature in 2020, which estimates that global wheat, corn, and soybean is already declined by about 3.8%, 1.8 and 3.1% respectively due to climate change from 1960. So for the past 40 years, if you take, there is approximately 4% decrease in the global food production in all the major staple food crops according to the Nature data. So, and this is only increasing. This is not decreasing. This is only increasing. So this shows that the climate change is a huge threat to the global food production and in fact in the survival of the humanity. And because of that, we need to come up with innovations, technologies to combat climate change. And these innovations and technologies should be supported by investment from the private, public, it's a combination of the stakeholders should come forward and to drive the agricultural innovations. And these are the reasons why it should, because the climate change increasing stress to the plant in the form of abiotic factors and biotic factors like insect pests and plant pathogens and other factors leads to this food insecurity problem, and that has to be combated only by increasing investment. That will drive the technological innovations to combat this problem. And what are those technologies that can help mitigate this climate change and achieve food security globally? I have listed a series of technologies, and I will not read one by one, but altogether it shows a combination of both the modern biotechnological solutions and the non-biotechnology solutions should come forward. It's a consortium of technology. Not one technology is going to solve the problem, however the good this technology is. It's a mixture of problems. It's a kind of a mix of the technologies should be applied in order to combat the climate change. And some of the technologies are biotechnology, nanotechnology, and biotechnology is a broad word that includes a lot of other technical subdomains within the term, like gene editing is one of the key technology, and that's been applied across the sector, not only in agriculture, in human and therapeutics, other areas. And GMOs, which is genetic engineering, that has been there for more 30 years, and plant molecular forming and the biologicals, and robotics, mechanization, drones, precision agriculture, AI, machine language, and post-harvest loss, food loss technologies, and increasing the soil health and soil diagnostics. And these are some of the things, and the list I have made is a combination of technologies should be applied to mitigate the climate change. And there was this one I want to show that there was one article presented by McKinsey, which is the world's one of the top consulting group in 2019, which predicted that next 3 or 4 decades will be dominated by what is called as the life science revolution, and that will fuel the bioeconomy that is capped at $4 trillion. And synthetic biology will be the key technology for the future, and synthetic biology has applications in wide variety of fields, and agriculture is one of the top area where synthetic biology has a direct application, and the synthetic biology tools is already playing a big role in shaping the agriculture and food production. And this is the slide shows what is the impact of the ag biotech on the climate change. How can you use ag biotech to influence the climate change and increase the food production? because if you can see, ag biotech can lead to several variety of important traits in plants and crops. Like it could be helpful to generate a drought tolerant plant, increase yield, increase nutrient use efficiency, shelf life, water use efficiency, and herbicide tolerance, insect tolerance, disease tolerance, salt tolerance. There's so many important problems, and biotechnology can be used to address all those problems, which can ultimately lead to food security, sequester more carbon and reduce the GHG emission, and conserve water, and reduce the food waste, and conserve land in order to kind of decrease the effect of the climate change. And as I told this particular talk, there are a lot of technologies, but in this particular session, we will focus on two key technologies. One is the GMO, or plant genetic engineering. The other is going to be the nanotechnology. This one talks about genetic engineering, or GMO, genetically modified crops, which has been in existence since 1994 for the past 30 years and above. And so far, about 30 to 32 countries have been actively involved in planting GM crops, adopting GM crops all over the world. And there are about a list of about 20 different crops plants wherein GM traits have been introduced. And this particular cartoon or a chart shows where the GM crops have been planted until 2019. If you can see the data, there has been about 2.7 billion hectares of crops has been planted starting from 1996 to 2019 for the period of about 25 years. And the USA dominates the GM landscape with about 38% of the global biotech crop area is in the US, and followed by other countries. In India, if you focus on India, there's only one particular GM trait or GM crop there, that is GM cotton. There is not even a single food crop in India that is genetically modified so far. But India is fast approaching towards that. Maybe in the future, there will be more genetically modified crops come to the India. And this chart shows why we have to adopt GM technology. What is the benefit of GM technology? This chart shows that the adopting GMO technology has a many positive impact directly and indirectly on the climate change and to mitigate climate change. One, GM traits or GM technology has been shown and demonstrated to increase crop productivity. As a result of crop productivity, it ultimately contributes to food, fuel, and the fiber security, and it conserves land. In terms of because of the less application of the chemical based pesticides and the fertilizers, you kind of reduce the land and the water pollution, and it reduces the footprint, because all this chemical manufacturing takes a lot of the process involves a lot of GHG emission, and once you reduce chemicals, the demand goes low, so the production goes low. As a result of it, GHG emission is cut, and also the same application of the fuel. So directly and indirectly, the GMO technology has a big impact on not only on the food production, but also on the effect of on kind of mitigating the climate change. And these are examples of some of the commercialized GM crops. There are a lot. This is just a few examples in important crops like soybean, corn, cotton, canola, and alfalfa, etc. And it has been developed by important companies, major, we call it as a big five. They are the ones who controls the major seed production in the world, starting from Bayer to BASF to Syngenta, and previously it was Monsanto, and you have KWS. So there are about few companies, Corteva, that are heavily involved in GMO technology in the world. And these are some of the plants that is traits. For example, HB4 wheat developed by a company in Argentina. Now majority of countries are adopting this drought tolerant wheat trait. And BT eggplant is a big hit in Bangladesh, which is tolerant to the insect bugs. And golden rice developed by Erie Philippines is a major thing that provides nutrition to in the form of vitamin A to the developing countries. A non-browning apple was developed by Okanagan, a company, and wherein the apple, when you slice it, doesn't get brown because of the RNA silencing trait in that. And BT cowpea is a very big hit in African countries like Kenya and Nigeria, and so the virus is in cassava. These are just some examples. There are a lot of GMO traits adopted in the entire world, and that has a positive impact on the food security. And this chart shows the complete list of what are all the crops in which the GM traits have been introduced, and where are all the countries that has been GM crop have been approved, and what are all the traits. So this like kind of a landscape. This slide kind of depicts a kind of a GMO landscape about the importance of GM and its effects on the food security. The next technology that we have to address today is gene editing. Like GMO, gene editing is now the talk of the town. It's been there for about 10 years now, the CRISPR-Cas9 technology, and it is playing a huge role in all fields, including agriculture and food security. And the gene editing technology has been adopted now, approved, I would say, by the regulatory authorities of about 25 countries, including India. India adopted gene editing in starting April 2022. It's been more than a year now. And why people are going or using gene editing? Because gene editing is a key technology that can kind of reduce the cost and reduce the time of coming up with the new varieties or new type of seeds that can tolerate pests, that can be tolerate the abiotic stress, and that can be used to improve the photosynthetic rate, sequester more carbon, and develop sustainability. And for example, gene editing has been, people are using gene editing both by the industry and academia to solve some of the major problems like crop pandemics, like human pandemic. Crops are also subjected to major diseases that we call it as crop pandemic. And these are some of the diseases that has been included in the crop pandemic that can wipe out the entire cultivation of these particular plants. So for banana is a classical example now that is threatened by a fungus called Fusarium wilt. And when there's no cure for this disease, this is a fungus that can wipe out the entire banana acreages overnight. So people are working to using gene editing as a technology to solve these problems. And there's a lot of some good results coming from different academic world as well as from the industry. And if you see, as I saw, this particular, the one on the right shows what are all the traits that has been worked on this important plant like banana, cassava, potato, rice, and wheat using gene editing. And so far, when you take what are the traits that are commercially approved that's there in the market that came out of gene editing technology, the first one was in 2019. It was called high oleic soybean, a soybean that can now produce more oleic acid that was created as a result of the gene editing by a company called Calix in Minnesota in the United States. The second commercially approved trait was GABA-enriched tomato in Japan. GABA means gamma amino butyric acid, that is increases the controls the blood pressure of a people who has the blood pressure, and this particular trait has more GABA than a normal tomato. The gene-edited tomato has about 5 times more gamma amino butyric acid compared to a regular tomato. So this particular trait is for the human benefits, and there are so many other traits that is being developed by many companies across the world in different countries. Some of them are sulfonylurea canola, the non-browning mushroom, disease resistance wheat, and waxy corn, and high oleic soybean. And when you particularly come to India, India so far doesn't have any gene edited product that's there in the market, but a lot of companies in India are now doing research to develop a variety of traits in a variety of crops. And one particular trait is drought tolerant rice. That is people are working on, supposed to be released by 2026 in India for the drought tolerance and the heat tolerance. Because in India, last year, because of the summer, the entire wheat belt in Punjab, there is a 40% loss to the farmer because of this excessive heat during the summer, and India banned wheat export because of that. So that was the effect of the climate change. And Indonesia banned the export of palm oil because of the climate change, and Malaysia banned the export of chicken to Singapore because of the decrease in the production of the poultry. So the climate change has a huge impact on the food security and the food production. And next, we can move to the next technology. So far, I was talking about genetically modified plants or GMOs and followed by gene editing. Now we can shift gear and move to nanotechnology, because nanotechnology is fast arising technology in several different areas, including agriculture and the food production, because the nanoparticles playing a key role in kind of increasing the efficiency of any technology. And what are these nanoparticles? Nanoparticles comes in the form of a spear or a rod or other kind of, it could be an organic or inorganic molecules. And that has a huge role in the case in different industries, including agriculture. It has an effect on increasing the plant production and food processing industry, food packaging, transportation, livestock, and every single industry is affected by nanotechnology in a positive way. And particularly when you focus on agriculture, what this nanotechnology can do in order to improve the agricultural production, in order to combat the climate change and decrease or mitigate the food security. It has got a huge impact, and it's applied in every single area in agriculture these days. For example, in nanobiotechnology, nanotechnology can be used along with biotechnology for crop improvement in the form of nanocarriers, in the form of the nanopesticides, nanofertilizers, and nanocapsules and nanosensors. Every single application involves nanotechnology that has impact on all the technology used in agriculture, as shown in this particular chart, starting from GMOs to gene editing to soil enhancement and crop growth, yield, biotic, abiotic stress tolerance, and so on and so forth. So nanotechnology is playing a huge role. And this particular cartoon shows how you can apply this nanotechnology, because you have the tools. Now you have to deliver to the plants in order for the plants to receive the benefits. So what are the main ways in which this nanotechnology is delivered to the plants in the agriculture? There are three main ways. One, you can spray, like a farmer sprays a chemical spray. Now you can use and same kind of spray method for spraying the nanoparticles for the benefit of the plants. And the other method is seed priming. You just take a seed that has been primed or coated with the nanoparticle technology, and that seed is used in the agriculture. And next is soil mix. You can just mix the soil with these nanoparticles that is shown to improve the health and tolerance of the plant to drought and the diseases. And nanoparticles shown to improve the plant, and at the molecular level, it has been shown to increase the gene expression of many genes and pathways that is known to play a role in improving the growth of the plant and in increasing the ability of the plant to be tolerant to the abiotic and biotic stresses. And next comes the other slide, which shows that nanotechnology by itself has its own effect, but nanotechnology can be combined with already existing plant biotechnology approaches such as gene editing and GMO in order to further increase the efficiency of the existing biotechnology approaches. Some of the existing biotechnology approaches includes GMO and gene editing. If we dig deep, these are the delivery methods like agrobacterium, gene gun, protoplast, laser. These are some of the methods in which the DNA and RNA has been delivered into the plant classically. But now with the advent of the nanotechnological innovations, these nanoparticles can be used as a carriers to deliver your DNA, RNA, gene, protein, or anything into the plant cell in order to develop a trait. And that is the beauty of this technology. And these nanoparticles also help to do spraying. You can directly spray your DNA and RNA directly onto the plant instead of delivering into cells and getting a plant out of that by a classical way. Now you can directly go to a field and directly you can spray a nanoparticle that has been mixed with the DNA and RNA, and that nanoparticle is able to deliver the DNA and increase the gene expression or silence the gene in given trait and show the effect. So that is the power of nanotechnology these days, and and also for the fertilizer application, wherein the slow release of fertilizers is now done with the help of the nanoparticles and nanotechnology. So with the advent of all the technologies, like it could be gene editing or it could be GMOs and now nanotechnology, the combination of all these technologies now and also in the future that is going to come, they're going to play a key role in alleviating this climate change effect of the climate change and food insecurity. So the key takeaways here is that climate smart agriculture is the way to go in order to make sure that there's a sustainability, food production, and food insecurity is combated, increase the agriculture productivity. And how can we do that? And we have to adopt all technologies, not just biotechnology. It should be biotechnology, nanotechnology, and a combination of all the other technologies out there has to be mixed or used as a consortium of technologies in order to combat this climate change and increase the agriculture production. As I told, gene editing, genetic engineering or GMO, nanotechnology, and other technologies out there are being used to improve plants so that the improved plants can adapt now to increased number of challenges brought about by climate change. So not one technology is going to solve this problem. It's going to take a mixture of technologies or a consortium of technologies in a right mix in order to address this problem and in order to increase the agriculture productivity of the world. And in order to do that, in order to do all these things, the key thing is that a lot of research has to take place. R&D is the key here to come up with innovations and disruptive technologies. And in order to feed this R&D and innovations, significant agricultural investment in agriculture is a key all over the world. And it is being done. If we take 2020, the amount of dollars that went to global agriculture investment was about 50 billion. In 2021, it was about 50 billion. In 2022, it got decreased from 50 billion to 30 billion. In 2023, in the first half of 23, now is the worst time. Actually, the amount of global investment has gone significantly down due to the current status of the global economy. But in spite of all these things, all the stakeholders involved in global agriculture and global food production and climate change have a very positive views on increasing the amount of the dollars for the investment, and number of companies who are involved in devising these technologies or coming up with these new technologies is increasing in the form of the startups globally, including India. So everybody realizes that the climate change is the biggest threat, and more should be done in order to combat the climate change and decrease the food insecurity, so that all the people in the world have access to the clean, nutritious food and diet. Thank you. I'll stop sharing now.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time and enlightening our participants. We are very thankful to you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'm extremely happy to be here and I had a chance to share some of the important information what is going on, particularly because of this, the important problem, the current important problem of addressing the climate change, which has a direct impact on the agriculture and the food production and food security of the world.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, if there's any question, I'd be happy to take. So if there is none, I'd be happy to leave.
So as of now, there are no questions.
Okay.
There are huge participants, and if there are any questions, we will.
Sure.
Again, thank you for attending the course.
Thank you.